everyone, it's the History Nerd, and we are back with another episode of Victoria 2, Heart of Darkness, Spain! Now, I was recording this, not moments ago, and I got 2 whole years ahead in time. In fact, I had a full-on invasion of Florida, and then the game crashed. So I'm hoping, possibly against hope, that this goes a little bit smoother. Not that anything happened, like things were going great, but there was a little bit of a crash. So that's upsetting. Especially since I had already announced, and what I'm going to have to announce yet again, is a new video series for the channel. Now, last year, or a few months ago, or however long ago it was, there was a little bit of an idea floating around of doing a multiplayer Victoria 2 series. Now, one of the big problems with doing a Victoria 2 multiplayer series for myself was I didn't have the hard drive space to actually be able to sit down and record a multiplayer series, because you don't generally record multiplayer series at, half an hour to 45 minutes at a time. You're going to sit down and you're going to play a game for a couple hours, and then next week you're going to play a game a couple hours more, and etc., etc. Now that I've got a whole new hard drive, that doesn't seem like an issue. So, I'm putting an open invitation out to all of the viewers who might be interested in joining in on a Victoria 2 multiplayer game that I will obviously record and put on the channel. I've been in talks with another YouTuber, a fine gentleman by the name of Snuffleton. I do have his channel linked on my You Should Check These Channels Out. And if you haven't seen his videos, please go check out his channel. And yeah, he seemed keen on the idea. He thought, hey, that sounds like a great idea. That could be a lot of fun. I think it could be some fun. And I know some of you viewers out there are like, hey, you know what? You know what would be fun? If we did some multiplayer 2 Vic. Drunken riots. A police raid against a Cartagena bar tonight has provoked a massive public backlash against police and other authorities. Locals, infuriated over the police's decision to close the bar, further aggravated by an already liberal intake of alcohol, had taken to the streets in what best can be described as a drunken rampage through the city. Whatevs. Let them have their fun. Oh, United Kingdom joining in on the crisis. So for those who are forgetful, and indeed myself, I am a little bit forgetful, we do have a crisis brewing in Europe over Albania. France seems to think that the Albanians should rule over Albania. Myself and the Russians tend to agree. The Ottoman Empire say, no, instead, France, we're going to humiliate you for being a dick. And Prussia and the United Kingdom are like, we can sign on to that. So there is a crisis brewing, and that's just something we're going to have to keep our eyes on. That's all that means. Anyway, back to the multiplayer game. If you are at all interested in joining in on some Victoria 2 craziness, then please send me a YouTube message with your email address and a little note that says, hey, History Nerd, I want in. Here's my time zone. Now, I know a few of you did reply before. If you could go ahead and just do that again. I know it's terribly annoying of me to ask, but if you could do that again, that would be great. Then I can get an email sent out to everyone who's going to be involved, get your Skypes so we can talk, and get that set up. So if you're interested, let me know, and we'll work on getting that going in the next couple of weeks. And I think that'll be very much a lot of fun. Feel free to read the newspaper. It doesn't look like there's much going on, except we got La Vega. La Vega. Anyway, while this is ticking around, and while we are waiting... Oh, France got humiliated. That's sad. While we are waiting, ever so patiently, for our justification for taking Florida from the Confederate States of America come through, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a world tour, starting in North America. So we can see this is North America. We got British Canada up at the top, and British Columbia sitting right over there. Meanwhile, we've got the United States of America, which hasn't actually been able to take a lot of land from the Mexicans. And now that the Confederates are on board, it's even less. But I have a feeling, judging by the situation, the U.S. isn't going to have much of a problem with the Confederates. I've been around to all the workplaces in the city, but I just can't seem to get a break, sir. I wonder what to do. I cannot go home and let the grass grow around my feet all day. My family trusts me to support them, but what should a poor sod do when there are no jobs available? With jobs scarce and creditors inversely plentiful, many from the poorer classes are having trouble making ends meet. And you know, they are called poor for a reason. Or should we just build some local reform support? I think we're going to build some local reform support. I'm feeling in a generous mood today. The Confederate menace. As everyone knows, the CSA is out to get us. It's only a matter of time before they launch an unprovoked attack, so it is only reasonable that we take steps to preemptively defend ourselves. As luck would have it, a report detailing the nefarious schemes has really been leaked to the press, and the public have rallied to our cause. They're coming right for us! Shoot them! 5.4 infamy. We can see we are still under the limit ever so slightly, so that's good. We need to keep it there. Crisis averted, new political parties, and that's about it. Oh, and the Netherlands have gone to war. Lovely. So, moving on to South America, which, other than Bolivia, are all in my sphere. That's a good day. It's a good day to be Spain. Africa, not much has changed. A police raid against a Cartagena bar tonight has provoked a mass public outlash against the police and other authorities. Locals infuriated over the police's decision to close the bar, further aggravated by an already liberal intake of alcohol, have taken to the streets in what best can be described as a drunken rampage through the city. It's not the saloons that are the problem, it's the intake that is the problem. Don't close the saloons. Please. Anyway, Europe, not much. It doesn't look like Prussia's all that keen on forming Germany. Such is life. There's Russia. We got the Mideast. Not much has changed there. We've got the Indian subcontinent, and not much has changed there either. And as was rightfully pointed out in the comments section in my last video, a lot of these nations are now independent and ripe for picking, and they shall be plucked by me later. We've also got China, with a few of the other Chinese substates still kicking around. We've got Korea, and we've got a partially westernized Japan. And that's about it for the world. So we're just patiently waiting now. If we take a look at diplomacy and the war justification, once it gets to around 90%-ish, I will up my military spending ever so slightly, just to ensue that I can, have a good, well-formed military unit ready to storm the beaches of Tampa and recapture Florida for the Spanish Empire. I think that's a good cause. And yeah, that's about it that's going on. The hands of the clock point 5 minutes to 12. His eyes peer across the town square, seemingly undaunted by the commotion and the risk. He climbs to the podium and begins to speak. For hours he talks of the Afro-Caribbean nation, its oppression, its cause, and its future in a language that reverberates with nothing but the clear tones of a just cause. With nothing save the clear tones of a just cause. The Spanish gendarmes storm the square, and soon he's gone. Somewhere, far away in the city, a bell strikes 12. A young Afro-Caribbean nationalist is in our custody. What should we do with him? He's clearly dangerous. Imprison him. Or execute him in prison. We're not about to just start chopping the heads off people like this is revolutionary France. No, sir, this is imperial Spain, and we do things a little bit differently here. A dry spell in one of our colonies has caused friction between colonial officials and locals. The lion's share of the reservoir water in the area has been diverted to colonial factories and plantations, leaving many local smallholders with insufficient water for irrigation. As the days turn into weeks, tensions continue to rise. Diverting more water to the local farms is an option, but might be viewed internationally as a sign of weakness. We can divert more water to local farms and lose prestige. The rain will fall sooner or later. Or we'd best save even more water should the situation... We should save water. Oh. And we can see we can boost spending up into the 70% range, I think. That should be good enough to take on the Confederates while they're busy fighting the Union, of course. So yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on. Let's go ahead and acquire this state from Florida, shall we? Declare war, acquire state. The glorious and wonderful state of Florida, where many a Canadian snowbird go to spend the winter. Well, this Canadian is not spending the winter. This Canadian, via the Spanish. What? No, I want the fleet. Oh, that is frustrating. Here we go. And I'm not all that concerned about any sort of Confederate navy that might be there. I imagine we have enough to counteract any of the... Oh, that's American. They're our friends! Well, they're our non-enemies in this situation. There we have it. First, however, we shall go to Bolivia and add you to our sphere. So now we have all of South America in our sphere. I think that's a good sphere. I really do. Drop those guys down. And we'll drop those guys down. Almost wondering if it would be better, for the sake of time, to try going after St. Augustine and Tallahassee. Well, and to be honest, my biggest concern with this Florida campaign is it's not taking Florida. That's going to be a breeze. My biggest concern is taking enough land to convince the Confederates they should give me Florida before the Confederates lose to the United States. That's about all that's going on in the world. If you're interested, hit the pause button and read it. Well, now rewind it and hit the pause button and read it. We'll crank the speed up to 4 out of 5. Glorious. Where to next? I think the next obvious choice is going to be empiricism here, or empiricism. This thing that gets us better research than things. We gonna be smarter with this. Oh, and we've got a new national focus as well. Back to Spain! So, if we take a look at what we're doing here, we've got clergy, soldiers. So what we're going to want to do is go into our population tab, and in our second largest state, we're going to want to say, you should join the army. There we go. And I mean, we've almost got our soldiers balanced with what we can have. It's a glorious state of East Spain. Thank you. time is really ticking down on this whole Confederate campaign. Thank you. No, 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 no. Stay there. Whew. There we go. Now go. And in fact, I may take my bigger army here and move it into Mobile. Okay, good. We beat the Confederates. That's good. And we didn't even lose any ships doing it. Alright. Life rating, colonial prestige, diplomatic points. Makes me wonder. Life rating 15. We're close. We are so close. Spain goes to war, that's really all I care about. And the rest, not much. Field fortifications, wonderful. Ah! Well, that's a sad day. So we took all that infamy for really no reason. Florida remains in command of the United States. That's so sad. Alright. So 6 goes there. 3 goes... Oh, we'll put him into Port-au-Prince. Well, that's frustrating. But ultimately, a good lesson learned. We'll drop that down to 20 and start making some extra serious cash here. And in fact, while we're doing that... Okay, so there's another crisis in Albania. Let's take a look. It's probably going to be the same freaking thing. This time they've got no backers, and the Ottoman Empire is like, screw you. So we're going to just sit on the fence for now and see what we can do to increase our military presence in the Pacific. Because that's just not going to be enough. So let's hit up our military army. North America and Europe. That's a shame. Yes, fine, we're interested. Let's go back. Crisis, Austria. Should we side with Austria? We should side with Austria. Okay. Everybody in Catalonia prefers free trade. So we might as well just go with the minuscule free trade boost. Oh, we got a newspaper to read. Anything important? Not really. Global cooling. Scientists warn another ice age might be starting as record temperatures drop from year to year. That's something to just consider there. You know, global climate change. Just saying. I'm not going to get up on a political soapbox or anything. Just saying. Man, it's split, isn't it? Moralism or people are moral, obviously, so we should try to encourage them to be secular, but don't like hit them over the head with it, right? So we'll just do that and hopefully slowly change the minds of the Spanish. Rebel factions. Oh, okay. We want to obviously do some suppressing here. Spare no efforts. We want to suppress liberation movements in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. That's done. The rest, I don't really care. We don't want to be losing our colonies yet. Now, do we want to sign the Geneva Convention? Have a bad boy less than 25. Barely, but we do. So we will instantly lose an infamy, which is nice. But our max military spending will drop to 90%. At this stage, I'm okay with that. We're not even spending to the full extent, so that's fine. We can drop it. Limited citizenship, that seems to be the popular choice anyway. Spare no effort. We're really getting hit hard by these potato famines in a country that I didn't think grew that many potatoes. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you happen to know that Spain grows like a hell of a lot of potatoes, let me know, because I really have no clue. State capitalism. Back to the military tab. So how big of an army can we build here? We can build 3. That's not worth it. But what is worth it is taking our population off of that from soldiers and going to there to soldiers. I think what about 4% in each state? I don't know if that number makes sense or not, but it seems in my head that that would be a good number. So I'm going to stick with it. Limited citizenship, thank you. Hey! Albania won! Look at that. That's amazing. I feel like sending them a gift. But I can't, so we'll just improve relations. Don't be haters, we were on your side. Kids these days, let me tell ya. Limit the citizenship. We'll just go with interesting. Just to kind of slowly get people going in that direction. And in the meantime, what we will also do, because we need, well, let's take a look. How many transports do we have out here? We've got 3. That's not going to be enough to send out a fully fledged invasion force. So what we're going to do is build some European steam transports. And as always, we will send them to meet up in Cadiz. We'll just make sure that that is the only point. Good. And again, if I've hit the microphone there with my hand and it annoyed you, I apologize. Just getting all crazy up in here. Leave the tariffs as they are. That doesn't matter. Wonderful. But yeah, what we're going to focus on now that we've lost Florida, very likely forever, we're going to really focus on getting some more of those Pacific colonies. So, well, our research might lead us to get into Africa here, which should be difficult. We need to increase the life rating by 5%. We should be able to pull that off with the next tech or 2. The main focus is going to be on the what's it's called? The Pacific. That place. In fact, let's take a look. Let's just take a look at Mexico and see. So they're friendly with the US, but the US is not sphering. So obviously the US is going to invade them at one point or another. Oh, clergyman, where are you at? Canary Islands? So I guess that's Luzon? This doesn't make any sense. Spanish West Morocco. Okay, population. Spanish West Morocco. We're going to remove your focus. And we're going to put you there. There we go. And when this guy's done, I'm going to send him back to the high pop ones. Because I would imagine now that the clergy has dropped off in there. More than likely. capitalists in one of our states have called a lockout following a period of intensifying labor conflicts in the area. Workers have been informed by management that no one is welcome back to work, while union sympathies still run high among the employed. Local police have expressed support for the move, citing a long series of disturbances at the factory, some even bordering on sabotage. Yes, we have trade, wars, production, and you tell me about organized labor? Or hey, that's unconstitutional. I think that. I don't even know if we have a constitution. The high militancy in Camagüey, Cuba, has erupted into a statewide emergency as violent fighting and looting breaks out in the streets. The situation threatens to turn into a massacre unless something is done soon. Colonial police are standing by, ready to intervene and attempt to restore order, but are holding back pending detailed instructions from the governor. Intervene immediately, thank you. No, I had a little bit of a brainwave here, actually. Back to politics. What do we need for this? Machine tools, nitroglycerin, and iron steamers. We're gonna have to do that. The Panama Canal shall be built by Spanish means, for sure. Provided we can stay on top as a great power. Which, I mean, we're so close to taking the Ottoman Empire. Yet we're so far. Same situation, same answer. I don't have a different answer. Alright, let's just do max investments on the glass factories. And what can we expand? What is making us money? Our winery, actually. Let's go ahead and expand that. We will also expand our fabric factory and our machine parts factory. Those things are going to be useful, so there we go. Now we just need to convince people to move off the farm. Crisis averted, crisis set in motion. I think those two are related. A recent article in a Spanish newspaper startled their nation. A detailed analysis of their chilly relations with France led the editor to the conclusion that absent new guarantees, both countries might soon find themselves in a state of war, which would be devastating. Absolutely 100% devastating. We don't have the allies to fight back against France. That cannot happen. That being said, I don't know what allies we can get. Oh, Prussia will. Oh, let's see. Okay. Let's see, who else will? Austria won't. Russia won't. The US probably won't. France certainly won't. And the UK certainly won't. But Prussia will? Sold. The Prusso-Spanish alliance is born. And I think with that amazing change in geopolitical, geopolitical landscape, I think that's going to be a good place to leave the video for now. Although, you know what? No. We're going to research this. And then that's where we'll leave the video. So yes, as we slowly build up some kind of fleet here to ship our men to the Pacific, come to think of it, it might not be a bad idea to build another set of those. That's going to be the main focus of Spain at the moment. If we take a look, we can build 4 whole units. I think we've got a 5th sitting in Manila that's just going to get lumped in. to whatever force that I send there, and then from there we can start expanding into the Pacific region and retaking these former Dutch colonies that have since kind of set themselves free. I'm taking a look at this guy. They've got a factory somewhere in here. Like, they've got industrial power up in here. I'm not sure what kind of factory that is, but I'm very curious, and I definitely think Spain deserves it. Because really, they do. Spain deserves that. Next up, we're going to research iron steamers, because those are going to be very useful. And I think that's where I'm going to leave the video for now. So we're going to go ahead, give this a good old-fashioned save. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. If you have any interest in joining in the multiplayer fun, do let me know. Just send me a YouTube message and I will reply post-haste. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very, very, very much for watching, and we will see you next time.